Hello everyone, welcome to STEM Sphere. Today's lesson, I will discuss about some modification, including of each type and example of each type. Today, we will be talking about cell modification. Some modification is hard to explain, as is its basic form. You can already understand if someone will discuss to you or if you read it carefully. Before anything else, I will proceed now immediately to the discussion. Let's start from breaking down the words. What is cell? Cell is a small unit that you can live on its own and that makes up all living organisms including tissues of the body. And what is modification? Modification is the ability to modify a cell's genetic material in order to make react to particular stimulus. What about cell modification? Some modification, it has been observed that some microorganisms are not able to grow or multiply well in particular environment and this can cause them to die. Some modification has the potential of altering the cell so that its abilities to elaborate the desired environment. The success of this is dependent primarily on cultural conditions where cells are grown and how they react with each other. Now, since we understand the concept of cell modification, and let us proceed to its types. We have apical cell modification, basal cell modification, and lateral cell modification. Let's talk about the first type of cell modification, which is apical cell modification. Apical cell modification. On all epithelial they have one free surface, called the apical surface, which is exposed to the body surface or at the lumen of their space, body cavity, duct, tube, or vessels. It is specialized to carry a function that occur including the secretion, absorption, and mass movement of luminal contents. Here are the types of apical cell modification, which are cilia, flagella, pseudopods, and microvilli. First is cilia. Cilia are small hair-like protuberances. Its main function is primarily responsible for locomotion and feeding, circulation, erosion, and etc. In addition, they may be motile or non-motile. Next is flagella. Its characteristics include its unbranched, long thread-like structures that are intricately embedded in the cell envelope. The main function of flagella is responsible for the bacterial motility. And another fact of flagella is they are accepted as being important virulence factors. Next, we have pseudopods. Pseudopods, as its name falls, feet are temporary extension of cytoplasm. These cell modifications are responsible for locomotion and feeling. Lastly, we have microvilli. Microvilli are characterized as membrane protuberances that areas the epithelial cells. They are seen as small finger-like projection. It increases the cell surface area, which facilitates in the absorption of nutrients in just foods and water molecules. Here are the examples of each apical modification types. First is cilia of the trachea. Cilia helps remove the contaminants from organs or tissue by helping to move fluid by over the cell. These ciliated epithelial cells to remove mucosis, bacteria, and other debris from the lungs, breathing in a sequence rhythm to move this debris. Second is flagella of the human sperm. Flagella allows the spermatozoa to active the reach and penetrate the female camel in the exhibit on a coiled motion. Third is pseudopods on amoeba. Pseudopods serves two functions, locomotion and food capture. Amoeba use their pseudopods to ingest foods with by method vacuumatosis. And the fourth one is microvilli of the small intestine. The villi in microvilli increases the surface area of small intestine, which aims the absorption of cell vitamins B12 through diffusion. That is all for apical modification. Now, let's move to the next type of cell modification, which is basal modification. What is basal modification? Basal modification, a process that eliminates the cell's greasy layer, creating a cleaner surface that able to absorb things like makeup. Basal cells are responsible for production of new skin cells. A good example of basal modification can be seen in the hemidesmosomes, which helps any attachments or any cellular admission. The hemidesmosomes attach a cell to extract the cellular structures such as protein fibers in the basement of membrane. And that is all for basal modification. The last type of cell modification is lateral modification. It is the type of modification located insides of each set. It is called cell junction because it is specialized structure that serves as intercellular connection between two adjacent cells. There are three types of lateral modification, such as tight junction, adhering junction, and gap junction. First is tight junction. It is a junction that helps two adjacent cells tightly. It forms a zipper-like protein barriers that cannot be easily crossed this to prevent the passage of unwanted materials across the cells. It is commonly found in epithelial tissue. An example is our skin and blood vessels. Next is adhering junction, or also called anchoring junction. It is a junction that fastens cells together but does not slit them tightly. And lastly, the gap junction. It is a junction that connects cells directly from the cytoplasms, allowing a direct flow of molecules. This type of junction is important in heart and smooth muscles. Here are my conclusion of my topic. Cell modification, it is a technique used to modify cells, especially microorganisms, to prevent suited the biological processes. There are three types of cell modification. First is the apical modification. Is the type of cell modification whose main function is movement and locomotion. There are four types of apical modification, namely cilia, flagella, pseudopods, and microvilli. Next is basal modification. It is responsible for the production of new skin cells. Best example of this is hemidesmosomes. And last one is lateral modification. It serves the danger cellular between the two adjacent cells. It has three types: the tight junction, adhering junction, and gap junction.
And that is all for today's lesson. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Keep safe always. Thank you.